Once upon a time, in a small village in the mountains, there lived a wise Zen master named Hakuin. The villagers revered him for his wisdom and his ability to solve their problems. One day, a young man from the village approached the Zen master with a question that had been bothering him for a long time. "Master," he said, "I have heard that some people believe that engaging in sexual activities is a sin and it leads to suffering. Is this true?" Hakuin looked at the young man and smiled. "Young one," he said, "the question of whether something is good or bad is not as simple as it seems. The act of love, as you call it, is a natural part of life. It is a way for two people to come together and express their love for each other. It is a beautiful thing, and it is not inherently bad." The young man listened intently, but he still had doubts. "But Master, if it is a natural part of life, why do some people believe it is a sin?" Hakuin pondered for a moment, then said, "Young one, there are many beliefs in the world, and they are not all the same. Some people believe that certain things are sins because they do not understand them, or they are afraid of them. Fear and ignorance can create false beliefs. But if you look deeply into your own heart, you will find that love is a pure and noble thing." The young man was still not satisfied. "But Master, I have heard that engaging in sexual activities can lead to suffering. Is this true?" Hakuin chuckled at the young man's persistence. "Ah, my young friend, suffering is not caused by love itself, but by our attachments and expectations. When we become attached to a person or a situation, we set ourselves up for suffering when things do not go as we expect. But if we can learn to let go of our attachments and live in the present moment, we can find true happiness." The young man pondered the Zen master's words, and he began to understand that the key to happiness was not in avoiding certain actions, but in cultivating wisdom and letting go of attachments. He thanked Hakuin for his teachings and went on his way, a wiser man. Word spread throughout the village about the young man's encounter with the Zen master, and soon more villagers began to seek out Hakuin's wisdom. One day, an older woman approached Hakuin with a question of her own. "Master," she said, "I have been married for many years, and I have never known true happiness. Is it because my husband and I have never engaged in sexual activities?" Hakuin looked at the older woman with compassion. "My dear," he said, "true happiness comes not from engaging in certain activities, but from cultivating a deep and loving connection with another person. If you and your husband have not experienced true happiness, it may be because you have not yet learned how to open your hearts to each other and truly see one another." The older woman listened intently, and she realized that Hakuin was right. She decided to take his advice and began to open her heart to her husband. To her surprise, they found a deep and loving connection that they had never experienced before, and their marriage became a source of true happiness for both of them. Word of the Zen master's wisdom spread throughout the region, and soon, people from nearby villages began to seek out Hakuin's teachings. They came from far and wide, hoping to find answers to their own questions about love and happiness. One day, a wealthy merchant arrived at the Zen master's doorstep. He was a powerful man, but he was haunted by a deep sense of emptiness and loneliness. He had everything a man could want, but he still felt unfulfilled. "Master," he said, "I have everything a man could want, but I still feel empty inside. Is there something I can do to find true happiness?" Hakuin looked at the merchant with kind eyes. "My friend," he said, "true happiness comes not from having material possessions, but from cultivating a deep and loving connection with others. If you wish to find true happiness, you must learn to open your heart and see the beauty in everyone and everything around you." The wealthy merchant listened intently, and he realized that Hakuin was right. He decided to follow the Zen master's advice and began to open his heart to the people around him. To his surprise, he found that true happiness was not found in material possessions, but in the connections he formed with others.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.